Welcome, folks. It's a pleasure. And look, I wanted to change things a little bit because I know that you guys get tired of hearing the same voice over and over again. So what did I do? Well, I invited Stephen Constantine. That's why. And I hope that everyone's enjoying. I hope that everyone will enjoy this interview. Um I'm not saying it because he's here. I'm just saying it because I truly, sincerely hold his opinions and his football knowledge in high regard. So, sir, Stephen Constantine, how are you? Well, actually, I don't know where you are ever. So that's why I'm going to ask you this question. Where are you?
I'm currently in Limassol, Cyprus, a little island just off of Greece in the Mediterranean, and COVID-free, thankfully.
Good, 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 good. So you own the place now, huh? That's the rumor.
Um, I own Cyprus? No, I wish. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, man, I'm looking for places around the world to go and stay. So that's what I'm thinking. Hey, do you own Cyprus by any chance, or do you own
No,
Limassol?
no.
Yeah, okay, fine. So I'm heading over there right now. But that's good. That's good. I'm glad to
You're
see that you're
welcome.
doing well. What is it that you're doing over? I mean, I know that
Okay.
you're not coaching, but you're doing clinics. You're doing stuff with FIFA. What
Yeah,
is your
I
life is
mean,
right now?
I left my team at the back end of last season, Paphos
Hmm.
FC, who are in the Premier League here in Cyprus.
Hmm.
Um, They, I took over late December last year. They were
Hmm.
in, had quite a bit of problems with relegation. We managed to keep them in the first division, finished top of the group, of the second group. But football, they decided to bring a new sporting director because I was actually the sporting director first.
Hmm.
Um, and then they asked me to take over the team. So kind of my 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 expertise, I would say, as sporting director, football. I coach clubs, teams. We managed to get ourselves out of the relegation, and at the end of the season, they decided to bring a new sporting director,
Yeah.
and the sporting director bought his guy. So um,
Yeah.
out of the job. But since then, I've done a few courses for FIFA,
Hmm.
presentations around the globe to various national associations on football development, what have you, and obviously looking for the next opportunity.
Okay, but obviously with that in mind, your routine overall changes. Obviously, from being involved on a daily basis with a team in a training ground or in an office, you're now, I don't know, traveling a bit more, staying at home with the family. How did that dynamic change over the past? I think it was what the past year and a half.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I left India in 2019 after we had gone to the Asian Cup finals, and I'd been away for 6 years from my home, so I'd seen my wife and kids in the 6 years, maybe a
Mhm.
year worth,
Wow.
um, which is not great, but
Hmm.
obviously is the life we choose in football.
Hmm.
Um, so then we had the pandemic, and unfortunately, I was home. So obviously, I got to spend time at home with the
Hmm.
kids, and a couple of them are 21 and 24. So, and then the youngest is 16. And that's been great. But obviously, I had a 6, 7 month spell with Paphos FC, as I explained. I'm looking forward to my next team. I've been shortlisted for a couple of jobs recently. I've been offered a couple of jobs that weren't really my cup of tea.
Hmm.
So it's a question of keeping busy. I'm watching a lot of games in different countries,
Yeah.
USL, MLS, Norway, Denmark, England, of course, and here in Cyprus, I attend games regularly. TV, I do a lot of TV work here in Cyprus.
Cool.
Uh,
Well, I
and
mean, do they broadcast it in English as well?
yes, there'll
Oh,
be
really?
the Champions League games. You do pre-game, half-time, and stuff like that. So there are games
Yeah.
in English and obviously games in Greek, which I'm quite okay with the Greek.
Mhm.
Uh, so keep him busy, but not exactly where I want to be. I need
Yeah,
to
and
go.
I understand. I mean, and I'm intrigued. I'm always intrigued about the dynamics outside of it because I mean, you're telling me you have a 16-year-old son, and obviously your older ones that are in their 20s.
No, I have a 24, a
24,
20,
yeah.
and a 16-year-old daughter. They're all girls, only girls
Oh,
in
they're
this
all
house.
girls. Oh
Yeah,
man, God bless you.
even my two dogs are female. So
Oh, God bless you. God bless you.
yeah.
God bless you. God bless you. um, how does that impact you? I mean, in terms of the overall dynamic of your relationship with your kids at this age. Because I mean, and look, being a parent, you know that one thing is when they're little kids, and I tell this to some of my friends. Hey, you know what? They're still young enough for you to be able to move around a little bit if your job requires it. But you get to a certain point, they're what? And correct me, I don't know, maybe you're going to say, no, no, it's this age. But it's all subjective. Like around, I want to say 11, 12, maybe 13. You don't have that luxury anymore. Say, all right, guys, we're leaving. We're going somewhere else. No, your kids are what kind of, they're a bit of an anchor as well because they need that stability. It's not that, it's not all just about your career 100%. Did that happen to you in that case?
You've got to be the first interview where they've asked me that question, and you're
Yeah.
absolutely spot on. We made a decision that while the girls were under 10,
Mm-hmm.
they would travel. Um, as soon as they became 10, 11, then that when I say they, the first one.
Yeah.
So, when the first one hit 10 or 11, I cannot take them. And I remember vividly, we moved to Cyprus in 2005, 2006. I was at Millwall in the Championship in England at
Yeah.
that time. We had uh, bought a piece of land here in Cyprus, and over the years we've built a house, what have you. But in 2006, I left Millwall and I was offered the job in Malawi. And I think the girls were um, 10, 8, and 5. I left Lucy here in Cyprus. We
Mm-hmm.
had so she had 3 kids under the age of 10,
Mm-hmm.
and about 160 boxes of furniture, stuff that we had from England, from India, from Nepal, because they had been with me both in India and
Yeah.
Nepal. Well, all of them. We went to India with one daughter. We left with two. Sorry, to Nepal, we left with two. We went to India with 2 daughters, and we left with 3. And I wasn't about to take her to Malawi because we didn't need a fourth one.
Well,
Um,
did you not buy a TV or anything like that? I mean,
oh, I don't know if you've been to Nepal, but if you have, not a great deal to watch. So,
yeah, I kind of figured that out, because the story was getting a
oh,
bit. I'm like, you guys don't watch much TV, do you?
but we have
I mean, you
we
do
have
because of the football, but that's about it.
we have 3 wonderful
Yeah.
girls, and they really are super girls, super
Yeah.
people.
I mean, you talk about them being, I mean, obviously them being great and everything. Is it me, or are your daughters or our daughters, based on, maybe not our experience because we both don't have sons, so we can't say that for sure. Does that give you the sensation they're a bit more supportive, a bit more kind of, diehard in terms of your career, and whenever you have successes, they're all there, and when you have your stumbling blocks, they're even there more. Meaning, like if someone goes and criticizes you, they go right after them, that kind of thing. Have you ever had that experience?
Yeah, not really. I mean, look,
Yeah,
they obviously follow my career.
yeah.
When the games are on TV, they're watching the games and what have
Hmm.
you. But we haven't had too many issues with
Yeah.
with that. But obviously, for me, the most difficult time for me in my career so far is now.
Yeah.
Simply because I don't have a team. I'm not working
Yeah.
as a, okay, TV's fine, interviews fine, presentations fine, coach education fine, but I need to be at the sharp end, and the sharp end is on the grass,
Yeah.
where you're fighting to get in the playoffs, or you're fighting to qualify for a World Cup or an Asian Cup. So, but they have been. My wife is an absolute saint.
Yeah.
She has been with
You
me
you've
through.
say you've said that you say that a lot. I mean, it's not that you're telling me this. I mean, you said it in interviews. You've told me personally, man. I should erect a statue of my wife because of what she's been able to give me support in my career. I mean, you've said that. It's not something that you're just that
No,
you're saying it
no,
in
no.
interviews alone.
You're absolutely right. You cannot have the career that I've had, been to the places that I've been, uh, and for the last 10, 12 years, pretty much on my own.
Hmm.
Um, Knowing that my kids are looked after, fed, clothed, and she's done that pretty much single-handedly. We don't have any relatives here in Cyprus where we drop the kids off or anything like that. So she's had to do all of that by herself.
Hmm.
So I would say she's my best signing to
Hmm.
date. So
Yeah, absolutely.
credit's due, and I obviously, it means a great deal to me.
Yeah, Steve, is there a place out of all the places where you've coached before, where if they call you today, I mean, and obviously, keep all the factors that you usually consider in mind, that you would basically, for I guess, for lack of a better term, at the drop of a hat, would go back to.
You know, I've been back to India twice,
Hmm.
uh, 10 years apart with the national team,
Hmm.
and really had a fantastic time.
Hmm.
Both. I was recently asked to go back to Rwanda as the national coach.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I would have gone back. Things didn't pan out, but look, I think when you Rwanda is absolutely a beautiful, probably the cleanest country I've been to in Africa. Fantastic people. I had a great time there. Yeah, I would definitely have gone back to Rwanda, but it's I don't think there's. I would go back to Sudan, and Sudan was when I was there a very difficult place, but the people were superb towards me. You know, you had all the other political issues which I try not to get involved in.
Yeah.
Politics and religion are two things that people have their own beliefs on, and I don't like to get involved in either of those.
Hmm.
So yeah, I wouldn't say there's no country that I've been to that I wouldn't go back to.
Okay. Now I asked that because there's a lot of things. There's a lot of times that I've spoken to people in India, and they're like, we want coach back. We'd like to have coach back." I mean, it's. I mean, it should be a testament to your work too. Besides that, just that the people say, "Hey, we'd love to have you back if the opportunity comes." Or at least I'm talking about from a fan perspective, of course. I'm not privy to any conversations you've had with any FA or anything like that. So it's just more a testament to how people have appreciated the work you've done in some of the places that I've
Yeah,
been able to speak to.
look, it's really, really, really great that you brought that up. I mean,
Yeah.
it's for me in, shall we say, in the Western countries,
Hmm.
or in the first world countries, Europe, North America, um, they do not understand um, what you need to do to go and be successful in Africa or in Asia.
Hmm.
What it entails. There's so much more that you have to deal with on and off the pitch. And I think the work that you do is respected and appreciated.
Hmm.
And both in Africa and Asia, I
Yeah.
have done okay. Obviously, I always feel I could do better. And it's respected. I mean, and appreciated, and I think that's one of the reasons why I've been a FIFA instructor for the last 23 years, because they also acknowledge the work that I've done abroad. I don't think that gets acknowledged so much in the US or in Europe, which is a shame.
Why is that? I mean, you from a coaching perspective can probably answer that better than I would. And my answer would have been something like, well, winning is all that matters. At the end of the day, if you win, you're successful. If you lose, you're a failure. Um, I mean, you see teams. I mean, I'm talking about the club level that there's I think now with Erling Haaland, I think Manchester, for example, Manchester City would have had spent like something almost nearly 2 billion euros or two along those lines to be able to be successful. But obviously, you don't have those tools.
But they haven't won the Champions League
Yeah, no, I agree. But I'm just saying
with all that money.
You don't have those tools. You have to work with whatever's there and try and make ends meet from a footballing perspective.
Look, your question is a whole episode.
Oh, don't be saying that. I might have you on again. So
Why? I'd love to be on. Why? Why? Why is it not respected? I don't think it's out of anything. When you are in England, I'll go in England. You're in a bubble.
Mhm.
And I would think that that's pretty much the same, say, in the US. So if you're
Oh yeah.
or your USL bubble, it's 24/7. Nothing else matters other than what you are doing. So when you look at a CV, or when you look at my CV, you'll go, oh, well, he was in Africa, 3 national teams. He's done 3 national teams in Asia. Yeah, but he didn't go to a World Cup, so we can't really relate to that. Well, he went to the Asian Cup with possibly one of the worst teams in Asia. So that would be like Puerto Rico going to the World Cup or to the CAFs. And it's much easier to look, well, who's worked here in the US or in the UK. Better the devil know. Although I think I would put up my CV up with just about anybody anywhere in terms of experience and knowledge. Just I have not coached at a World Cup. I've coached in a Euros, or if you like, the Asian Cup, which is the equivalent of Euros. I've developed players with no names who have gone on and played at the highest level, and I think my body of work is there for everybody to see. It's just want to actually look at it.
I mean, what you did is basically. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything insulting or anything like that. It's like taking Norwich to the Champions League final.
Yeah, I would say if you were to put it on club level, it's I would say it would be something like that. You have to put everything in context.
Of course.
The Indian League is not the best in Asia. It's coming. The ISL is growing every year. But when I came, the ISL had only been there for a year. Mm-hmm. None of the players were playing outside of India. We had a goalkeeper, actually, correct that, we had a goalkeeper in Norway. But he wasn't a regular goalkeeper. He wasn't first team choice. Mm-hmm. So then, we managed to qualify for the Asian Cup. We were the second youngest team. The average age was 23 of the team, and we did well. We missed going to the last 16, conceding a 93rd minute penalty. And that still hurts. Yeah. So I think, what is it that you want for your club? You want a manager, and I look all across the mod now is coaches are 30 something, maybe 40 something. Seems to be more clubs going that way rather than 50 something. Although
I mean, there's nothing wrong with either one. mind you. It just depends on the type of project that you have, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
if you're just, I mean, because I mean, I'm one that goes and says, you know what, yeah, it's great to be able to have someone with a different idea but different idea doesn't mean that you're 30 something, 40 something, or 50 something. You can have new ideas and evolve as a coach, which is my next question. How have you evolved as a coach? Especially keeping, being able to take a step back and start seeing certain things. And maybe at one moment or another, you're watching a match, say, oh, that light bulb goes off and you say, oh, now I see what I needed to do in whatever moment or whatever time with whatever team. Did that
Look,
also encompass a change?
I'm the type of person that I will take any course that
Uh-huh.
I feel. I did a mental exercise course recently, understanding the how players deal with certain issues,
Mm-hmm.
and all of these things that you just add them to your repertoire.
Yeah.
I will never stop learning. I have the pro license since 2003.
Mm-hmm.
I have the USSF A license, and all the other licenses I have in England. If I came to the US tomorrow, the first thing I would look to do is to get on the pro license. Firstly, out of respect to my counterparts in the US,
Yeah.
and secondly, because I'm going to learn something more. I'm currently on the supposed to be on the LMA diploma in the UK. However, I don't know if I will be able to get there because of the timings and what have you. But
Yeah.
always trying to learn one. It never stops. And of course, being a FIFA instructor, I also have to keep up to date with what's going on
Yeah.
in the world and the different situations that we have. But the learning process never ends. It doesn't matter how old or how young you are.
Yeah.
So,
What quality out of all that you've learned throughout your years is the one that you say, hey, you know what? It helped me get through with this team. It helped me get through with that team. Like what quality of yours helped you get through with for example, the Indian national team, with Malawi, with Rwanda, etc. Was it like you were one coach at that point, and then all of a sudden you got out of there and you were a different coach? How did that evolution take place? But also, which one of your qualities as a coach helped you really send that message out in the way you needed to?
that's a great question. I think that the two words I would use: cultural respect.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's very, very important
Hmm.
as the foreign coach to understand that you are the foreign coach. So even if you're going to the US, or you are the one that needs to adapt to the players around you, not the other way. It's not my way or the highway. It's I am the one that needs to change. I have to try and evolve and adapt myself to the players around me. Um, I think the biggest thing for me has been um, the ability to understand my players, um, and see them as people, not just people that play football.
Hmm.
Players have problems. Players have issues. Um, you see one player comes to training and you look at him and he doesn't look quite right, and you need to understand how he's thinking, what he's going through.
Yeah.
And I think understanding the players is important. It is possibly I'm not teaching them how to play football at the level that we're talking about. We're
No, no,
teaching them
no.
how to manage them. We're teaching them how to get the best out of themselves. But you've got to understand what's going on in their world at home.
Yeah.
The baby that wakes up every night, is he having trouble with his missus? Has somebody died in the family? Is somebody pregnant in the family? These things, I think, you need to take time away from the pitch and really get to know the players. Not easy. It takes time, and a lot of coaches don't take that time to understand their players. They're just there, part of a 25-man squad. This is the job they need to do. All I want them to do is do that job. But personally, I want to help them do their job as much as they possibly can to the best of their ability, because if they're doing it to the best of their ability, then I'm getting the maximum out of their players. And for me, getting the maximum out of the players is key to being successful. And as you pointed out, I've done quite well in just about every country that there are ways to reach players, even if you don't speak the
When you, the first time you left England, was that the lesson? Was that one of the lessons you learned? What was that something that? Oh wait, hold on, I have to change things. Or coming in, obviously, since over the past 30+ years, England has been a very cosmopolitan footballing nation with players coming from other countries, etc. Was that something that you already had implemented in you as a coach when you were at Millwall and your other stops in England? Or is it something like, well, this is a system I have to implement in this country, therefore, but then you realize, oh, wait, hold on. Things are done differently here. Was it a combination of both? Was it one? Was it the other?
Look, I think every country that you go to.
Yeah.
Yes, Papos FC in the dressing room, the last time we counted, I had 14 different nationalities. I can speak broken Spanish. My English is okay. My Greek is okay. But we had a Czech. We had a guy from the States. We had, like I said, it was 14 different nationalities. You need to manage all of them, and you need to make sure that they know exactly what their job is on the pitch. And my first job in England, my first real job was at Bournemouth Academy.
Yeah.
We didn't have too many foreign players in the academy, but then I had done some time in Cyprus. I went to Nepal. In Nepal, for me, it was the eye opener. I remember the first training session I had. I was standing in the middle of the pitch. It was absolutely pouring with rain. There was fog that you couldn't see the goalposts.
Oh God!
The players didn't have a proper training kit, and I was up to my ankles in mud. And I'm thinking, what am I doing? Where am I? And but I had 25, 30 players in front of me, and I needed to put on a training session. Never mind that we didn't have lines on the pitch, and there was no nets on the goals. This is the Nepal national team back in 99. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But you have to get on with it. So you can find lots of excuses. It should be like this. It should be like that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you need to coach the players, get your point across, and any which way you need to do it, you do it. So
I mean, exactly. I see what you're saying. So from that perspective, I mean, what you said was great. The fact that you say, well, I can't put up any excuses, because inversely, you're not putting up with any excuses from the players. So why should you start making excuses about yourself and the situation you're in? I guess that's where you're taking us to.
Look, I'll give you an example. I remember my first coaching session in India. It was on a dirt pitch in Goa. Okay, there wasn't much grass on the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And we get there, we had 10 balls between 25 players.
Mm-hmm.
I asked them, where are the cones, the little plates that you put down to make your areas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't have any. Now, I got a little bit steamed inside. I went, what? They don't have the cones or the markers, as we call them in England, the markers to separate. This is the national team. I had two choices: cancel the training session because I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do,
mm-hmm.
or find a solution. The solution was across the road. There was a supermarket, and my assistant, I said, listen, I said, go over to the supermarket and see if they've got the party plates Coach, what is the putty? Well, the putty plates, they are different
Yeah.
color plates.
Yeah.
Okay. So he ran over there and I said, get 25 of different colors. I don't care what colors. I get 3 different colors. They went and got the plates. They came back, and we put the plates on the in the position that we wanted, but we had to put
Yeah.
stones on them because they would get blown away.
Yeah.
So we did the session. I'll give you another one. In the US, a few years ago, we had, I went to the convention, the NCAA convention
Yes.
in Philly. And they asked me what age group, and I said it has to be a minimum of under 16 for the session that I wanted to do. Okay, we get there, and it was under 11s. And I said, guys, we're doing a technical, tactical session. It's not going to be viewable for the people that are sitting in the gallery. There's 400 people sitting up there. Please find me under 16 team. He said, oh, but coach, we don't have. So I took the mic. I went in front of the thing and I asked for volunteers. And I took 16 people out of the crowd.
Yeah.
And did the session with them.
Oh man.
It would not have worked.
Wait. Hold on. Let me stop you for a second. Wait, you were in Philadelphia. You couldn't find an under 16 team,
Well, I had
or they
asked,
couldn't find an under 16 team. I'm sorry.
they couldn't find an under 16, or it was double booked. I don't know
Okay.
quite what it was.
All right.
I took 16 volunteers out of the crowd.
You gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. I see what you. Yeah. Makes sense.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say is that we can all make excuses and throw our hands up in the air. Oh well, in
I'm out
England
of
we
here.
don't do this, or we don't work like this in Brazil. Yeah, but they need to see what you came to show them. So we got the volunteer, and in fact, I'm still in touch with a couple of the guys that were in that session. In fact, Matt Arrington is academy director at the DC United. So he must
They,
have some.
they, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I found that kind of wait. You couldn't find, but I mean, it's understandable based on scheduling and all these other things. If at the very last.
To be fair,
Yeah.
There are a lot of people doing sessions at similar times, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't want not to do the session the right way, and it would not have been at the level that it was being pitched at using an under 10, under 11 team. So.
Well, look. First of all, I want to thank you because I actually told you 20 minutes. We're like almost like at 40 now, but it's all good. When you start looking, I mean, what you've mentioned is great as well, because there's a lot of coaching searches that are beginning for some national teams, and obviously, in many cases, your name is going to be brought up. So it's interesting to see that. But I'm going to put you in a reverse situation. You're the one that's doing the hiring. What are you looking for? I don't know. You pick whatever country, you pick whatever situation you're in. And this is the coach I'm looking for. The reason I ask this is because a lot of national teams, or a lot of FAs, I should say, are looking for coaches now. And the requirement, well, they were in a World Cup. Well, they're this. Well, they're that. And it's kind of a double-edged question, because I'm putting you in an FA position, but it's more you kind of recalling certain things that were being asked of you in an interview. Okay, coach, what do you bring to the table? What are you doing in terms of a project? Because that's again one of those buzzwords that we hear: project.
Yeah.
First of all, what would you be looking for, and what has been expected of you when you're in that interview process or in that coaching search, if you will?
Okay. For me, the most important thing is the passion and the desire that the coach has. I find a lot of coaches, especially the name coaches, who at times think they're doing the FA a favor by being their coach. I want somebody that's hungry. Me personally, as a coach, whether it's a club or national team, and I've had 6 national teams so far.
Yeah.
I cannot afford to fail. Do you understand?
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Yeah.
I will do anything I possibly can to make sure that my team is successful, because I am not a big name. And because I am not a big name, if I fail, I am not going to get another job. So as somebody who is hiring, even when I'm hiring staff, it's about chemistry. It's not necessarily how good they are. Okay. It's not necessarily that. You can be very good at your job, but you can be a complete bellend, and nobody wants to be around you.
Yeah.
It's about the chemistry, and it's about how badly do you want to succeed. And I think when you have somebody who is hungry, has a chip on his shoulder, has something to prove, you are going to get so much more out of those people than you are that somebody who thinks that they have a divine right to be the manager, to be the coach because they played for so-and-so, or they were a player for 15 years. And I mean, I like to see the ex-players in the game. They need to be ex-players. I'm an ex-player. But you got to do your time in the trenches. You got to understand what made you so good as a player. You now have to transfer that knowledge into making somebody else a better player.
Yeah.
So the interview process, I think, is sometimes flawed, because a lot of clubs, associations, they already know who they're going to get before they put that out there. In most cases, and in fact, I had a very interesting conversation with somebody on a Refresher Pro license. Basically, he said to me, we have manager A in place. He's doing a good job. If he does a really good job, somebody else is going to come and take him. He may have a bad patch and we fire him, but we need to make sure that we have a ready replacement. So we will monitor.
So when you hear those rumors, hey, by the way, if so and so loses their job after this match, hey, Stephen Constantine, or just to say, he's most likely going to be taking over. So those rumors sometimes are true.
Oh, look, there was a recently, a couple of years ago at Nottingham Forest, they sacked the coach, and 15 minutes later they were announcing the new coach. They must have passed each other in the door. Look, any proper business would do the same thing. You need a successor. So you need to have 2 or 3 people on your radar. So in a lot of cases, the interview process can be somewhat of a sham, because people have identified, and I do too. If I'm going to a club tomorrow, I already know who my sports science coach is going to be. I already know who my goalkeeping coach is going to be. And if I have luxury, because sometimes they say you can't bring anybody with you, or you need to hire staff locally, then okay, fair enough. But if you have the choice, you're going to take people that have worked with you, for you, and understand you. That makes the whole transition a lot smoother. But it's I don't know if I answered your question. Exactly.
No, it's not. There's no precise answer though, at least from what I see, because if you have people that are interviewing that, first of all, don't know what they're looking for, that they have the pressure.
That's the key though.
Yeah.
Juan, that's the key. What are you looking for? And sometimes the people that are interviewing don't know exactly what they want. They know what they hear. But and this is why sometimes you see some hires and you think, wow, what happened there? And then you look at the results 3 months, 4 months later, and you think, well, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to hear probably some project. Well, we have to start working with the under-17s. Wait, under 17s? No. We need to go to the World Cup. What are you talking about? But when you start seeing, well, you have teams that are, the average age is 34, 35. They're more on the way out than on the way in, and you don't have anybody to replace them in a year's time, 2 years' time. So what do we have to do? Yeah, we have to start with the under-17s and then start building our way up. But no, we have to win now. What are you talking about? So again, that's why I say that.
I think when you're looking at a national team,
Yeah.
you've got cycles. So when we went to India in 2015, I physically coached the Olympic team, the under 23, as well as the senior national team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I looked at the national team when I arrived and think, well, the average age is about 30, 31. If we want to go to the Asian Cup, we are going to have to come down.
Yeah.
That I have to start working with, as you said, the 17s, the 19s, the 21s. At club level, you would like to think that what's being taught in the academy is preparation for what they're going to get when they get to the senior team.
Yeah.
Now, if I was appointed tomorrow, USL team or MLS team, the first person that I would want to see after I sign the contract is the academy manager. And I'm going to say, what do you have for me? Because those players are assets.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to bring these assets into the first team because that's revenue for the club. It's local born player, which brings more people to the stadium and so on and so forth. And that's how I think in Paphos, I was only there for 7-8 months. I gave a 18-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 15-and-a-half-year-old their league debut. Now,
That's incredible.
Because of the age. I did it because they were good enough. We had a pathway for them. We brought them training with us. I watched them in training. I saw them and thought, this guy. And
they're good enough. They're old enough.
Absolutely, absolutely. If they're good enough, they're old enough. And my history throughout my career has been about developing young players. So.
Yeah. So I mean, and you come into situations, and I'm going to wrap this up quick because I know I don't want to be taking up too much of your time. Is that, hey, look, this is what I do. If this is not what you're looking for, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Look, I am as keen and motivated to do my job as I was when I first got my first job.
Yeah.
I love this game. I love everything about it, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think I've had a decent career so far. I'm not done. So let's see what happens.
The best you have to look at it, the best is yet to come, right? That's the way you have to look at it.
Well, I don't drink, but they say fine wine gets better as it gets older. So
it gets more expensive too. I'll let you know that.
Well, yeah, that could be a problem.
Okay, Steve,
it's okay.
it's always awesome to talk to you. I wish I could talk to you more, but of course, time and availability ends up being very scarce. Last thing, your biggest accomplishment.
Oof. Biggest accomplishment. I think every single time that I give a player his international debut or his first appearance in a league match as a professional, that's my legacy.
Perfect. Steve, man, it's been awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. And like I said, we're going to stay in touch. So I hope that I get to see you coaching very soon. Okay.
You will. Thank you for inviting me on the show. I'm glad to see that you're well and you look fit.
I'm glad to see you're well.
Yeah. Well, we try, but look, I really appreciate it, and let's keep in touch.
Oh, definitely. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, my friend. Take care.
All right, cheers. All right, cheers. This episode is brought to you by TrueLean Nutrition. And look, I've been using TrueLean for the past couple of days, past couple of weeks. It's been helping me out in terms of getting ready because getting ready for November when the World Cup runs around means that it's not all fun and games. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of mentally and physically demanding work that one has to be able to put in. And you need help to be able to get ready for that. It's not something you just, hey, 2 weeks before, let's see if I can be ready. No, it doesn't work out that way. You have to go months and sometimes even years in advance. In my case, months in advance to be able to get ready. That's why I've decided to jump on board with Truline. Because, well, they're the highest quality all natural supplements that make better health and fitness. That's possible. That's something that's feasible. That's something that can fit into your lifestyle. Their products are built around the rhythm of the day and are optimized for the results that you may want to achieve. You got to put in the right type of fuel in your body, because at times it just doesn't help to have fitness goals. It just doesn't help going to the gym. Just doesn't help working and just grinding it out. You need to have good fuel in your body in order to be able to perform at the highest level. So that's why Truly Nutrition is what I'm using. Right now, you can go onto their website and get 15% off. You can just put the special promo code they offered me, which is TLB as in boy, B as in boy, Juan, WC22, and you get 15% off any Truline product. So make sure that you go check it out. And again, if you missed out the promo code, it'll be on the show notes. So make sure you're checking it out, okay? Truly Nutrition.